Enough chit-chat, let's get down to bronze taxes. I'm a top 500 Sombra player and was the highest ranked Sombra player in the world last season across all regions. Yes, really, with this demeanor, I don't exude the aura of a sad, miserable gamer, but alas, I am wicked on the sticks. And as of the change that put invisibility on a 5-second duration, a lot of people ask me if I have any wisdoms to share. So I thought it'd be a cool idea to, just like Karku did back in 2018, give you one tip for every hero as Sombra. But before the per hero tips, a word from our sponsor. Just kidding. Before every role category, I'll give one general tip, starting with one general tip against all tanks. Try not to always hack everyone. A very big number of times, like 80% of the time maybe even, do you have a legitimate reason to hack someone. But that last 20% where you don't have to and still go for it and then fail will be a major part of the reason why a loss is a loss. A key rule of thumb is that it's better to have the enemy team use and waste their abilities rather than have them be attempted to be prevented but failed. My tip for D.Va is to make sure you see her use her boosters before using Translocator, like, at all. She'll otherwise hunt you down, and she will kill you, and there is nothing you can do. D.Va is Sombra's personal Grim Reaper. A small bonus tip is that D.Vas tend to react to damage using Defense Matrix. So you can shoot her, make her use it, then interrupt it with hack. Against Doomfist, use the Translocator to dodge his ultimate and hack him right after while he's figuring out where to go next. Also, hold off on hacking him till he uses block to maximize the value out of it.
Hazard is an extremely strong character when it comes to picking off targets that are on their own. Stick with your team to not be his target, but the moment he goes in, teleport to either of his sides. He'll be relying on his block ability to not get blown up, so hack him while he's blocking the damage from your teammates.
So the way Junker Queen kind of works is that whenever she shouts, she goes in. It's a pretty long cooldown too, which means that once she goes in, she goes all the way. This means that she usually abandons the backline, which you can swoop in on. She also has no armor, so if you get a hack off on her, you can prioritize her because of the new damage boost. For Mauga, save EMP for his cage. No matter how tough the going gets, no matter how many jimmies are rustled, no matter how many apples get salted, always save EMP for cage. And also, if this man goes, hoo-ha!
It means he drank the immortal elixir and anything you do to him is cosmetic.
One neat interaction Sombra has with Orisa is that Orisa relies on cycling abilities. Sombra has the fun hack ability to interrupt the cycling of it by shutting down her spinny spin maneuver. This usually makes her immediately press her gold as well. You can also hack her ultimate as a mission. If you're in the radius of her ultimate, it does damage to you while it's charging up, making it impossible to hack. To make interrupting it easier to do, save Translocator and wait for her to use it.
For Ramatra,
try to wait and make sure you snag his shield in your EMP, since usually he uses shield when he's relying on it the most. Taking it away the moment he uses it means he's instantly out of position. For Reinhardt, I actually have 3 tips. Sometimes it's a better idea to just shoot the shield along with your teammates and break it so that everyone can work together to make sure he gets bursted down. Because if you hack him and he survives that 1 second of hack, the damage you did to the Reinhardt had no real actual value. It buys his team just that little bit more time to let him live.
For Roadhog,
with the change to hack now doing 20% extra damage to hack targets and Roadhog still having no armor, look to hack a Roadhog whenever you see him use his take a breather and just run his pockets. Although unreliable but flashy as heck, you can translocate dodge's hook.
Against a Sigma,
wait for Sigma to actually place his shield in the world before trying to hack him. If his shield is up and you hack him, he has to wait out the cooldown as well as having to replace the shield back where it was. But no, not every time he puts his shield up does it mean you have to hack it. Best bang for the buck value is to see him put down a shield, shoot him from an off angle to make him use the suck. You hack that and his shield. You can also hack his ultimate, which is funny.
When playing against a Winston,
try to perfectly time your EMP with the moment the Winston uses his bubble after jumping in. He relies on that thing to buy him enough time to get his jump button back. Don't give him that time. Genuinely just wait till he comes to you. Do not go looking for him. Also, dude, if you hack a Winston, it is hilarious how easily he goes down with his 0 armor. He can't stop you from hacking him in his ultimate because it's only melee. So go crazy and run his pockets. Against Wrecking Ball, use Translocator to dodge his slam. Since he expects people to be launched up, it gives you a little bit extra time to get the hack off on him while he's disoriented. Zarya has 2 bubbles. 2 big hefty resources that can block anything. Making Zarya misuse her bubbles by shooting and virusing her without even intending to kill her is actually worth the trade. If you keep track and see her having used both her bubbles, go for a hack and then use the damage boost to burn her down. Also, keep in mind that if you EMP her while she has a bubble, her bubble will absorb the EMP and have her take 0 damage.
So now you know what level great tips we're working with. If this video is just kicking in open doors to you, then that sucks. But if you already learned something, and before everyone moves to a next video in the 20 seconds before the video ends where I normally say this, I'd like to mention here that these big, massive video projects are something new to me and my editor, and take a hell of a long time to make. So sharing this video at all to anyone that has ever played Sombra Overwatch or subscribing to the channel would really go a long way towards letting us do more bigger video projects like these, and I'd appreciate that. Anyway, before going through all the damage characters, my one tip against all DPS is that you can still pull off the flanks that you used to do with permanent stealth. The only difference is how you get to those flanks. With permanent stealth, you used to have to walk the safest possible path because even a single bullet meant you'd be punished and sent to rehab. But now, because of this version of stealth being guaranteed and your speed not being taken away so easily, means you're both more able to as well as forced to be more efficient. But you can and should still do those same flanks, just through different means. No Sombra 76ing. Stop that. When Ashe throws out Bob, a combination of Hack now having damage boost but also not lasting the entire duration of the ultimate now means that what you can do is call for your team to burst him down with you. If that's not possible, make sure to hack him multiple times since the effect only lasts 3 seconds now. It doesn't matter who's bodyguarding Bastion, if you wait out his turret form and get the hack off on him, he's not much of a spooky guy at all. If you want to try and actually get the Cassidy dead to rights, make sure your translocator is off cooldown by waiting out the stealth naturally. This way, you can use the translocator to dodge his flashbang. Echo actually has the advantage against you in super close range. Keep her at a medium distance after hacking her and Cube of Doom her on the way down. You can also time her unduplicating with a cube since she's movement locked while changing forms. Against Genji, shoot him without using your Cube of Doom against him till he uses Deflect. Then, hack him when he uses Deflect and cube him. For bonus points, you can question mark him in match chat for lingering psychic damage. A bonus is that a common Genji pattern is to swing, 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 dash. I don't know what mechanism in their neurons decide this, but you can use this to trade places with him and dodge him to get him to waste his cooldowns. Against Hanzo, engage on him from a slightly elevated position. It is his Achilles heel. This way, his muscle memory makes him flick at eye level, but for you see, you are not eye level. Ha! Junkrat pretty much hard counters Sombra for a whole list of reasons. So the best tip is to play away from the sightlines he prefers to and let your teammates rack up deaths in your stead. If you do get to shoot him, make sure he has to lob his mines upwards. Against Mei, the only thing you can do is keep an eye on her using her Ice Cube, or force her into using the Ice Cube before engaging her with your translocator. There's not much you can really do against her. Also, you can EMP her ultimate after it activates, which not a lot of people know about. Against Pharah, you want to translocate in the air, look down before actually teleporting, and hack her mid-air. Hitting mid-air shots as Pharah is way harder to hit, making it easier to get the hack off. Against Reaper, you want to keep your distance, but not entirely leave him alone. Use the translocator to keep a consistent "I'm not touching you" going. Also, Reaper's ultimate, although deadly, does mean he can't move nor use Wraith. Sometimes, the better option is to make use of that by shooting him down rather than hack him out of it, since he can then use his abilities again. Sojourn, when she isn't charged up, isn't much of a threat to you. You can either try to catch her off guard, or use the translocator to dodge her rail shot. The only way you're gonna get the pick off on the Soldier 76 is if you outdamage his heal station. So, if you do get the hack off, you can go for him through the damage booster hacked virus. If you don't get the hack off, look to leave ASAP to win in a Sombra matchup. Making contact with the enemy team's Sombra comes at the cost of your own gameplay, since both Sombras need to play slightly within enemy lines. If you want to win against another Sombra, play to have more impact than the enemy Sombra and don't succumb to the bloodlust. Lob your Cubes of Doom till you land 1 or 2. Then go in on getting the Symmetra. She's very limited in mobility, which you can exploit as the character with the better teleporter. Torbjorn's turret is one of the strongest anti-Sombra measures around. If possible, ask one of your teammates to crack it down as much as possible. If that's not possible, it's worth it to consider wherever the turret is looking entirely off limits and keep its sightlines in mind when engaging. Tracer has absolutely no up button, but Sombra does. Look to use that against her. An advanced tip is to bait her recall and then through muscle muscle memory predict where she recalls and lob a cube of doom where she'll show up. Against Venture, there is no cure. There is nothing you can do. You will not win. You need to run. Run far away. Contrary to popular belief, Sombra does still counter Widowmaker with the stealth being on a timer. You just need different routing. Play a way more aggressive cover-to-cover style till you get close to her with 2 Translocator usage. For supports, my general tip revolves around using EMP. Sombra's unstealth animation is like a millionth of a second long. Like, not even pro players can react in time against an EMP if you do it out of stealth. So, this way, you can burst one or maybe even both of their supports down. Taking down the enemy that prevents the rest of your team from going in is a good way to use EMP. Against Ana, while she's scoped in, even if you hack her first thing out of stealth, it wouldn't give away your surprise factor, given that she's stuck in unscoping. Her cooldowns are very long, so playing to dodge one of them with your Translocator is definitely worth the risk. A lot of people complain about Baptiste being overpowered, because he essentially has multiple health bars. But the trick is to realize there's value to gain without killing. His lamp is a very long cooldown for a good reason. If you can bait that out of him, then you win the exchange, even if he doesn't die. With the new 20% damage boost on hacked targets, getting a hack and Cube of Doom on Brigitte while she's using her ultimate actually can lead to her dying pretty consistently, which is pretty cool. Iliadi's pylon, although very boring, so easily thought not important enough to break, is actually one of the strongest placeables in the game. Look to break the pylon right before a fight starts to make sure it's on cooldown when she'll be most reliant on it. My tip against Juno is to not use your ultimate when she uses beam. It is a spooky beam of death and you will not beat the Grim Reaper. Kiriko, ever since the health changes from season 12, has become susceptible to the threat that is the concept of death. There's a lingering sentiment that Kiriko counters Sombra, but the rule of thumb now is, if you see her use teleport, you can eliminate Kiriko. If you see her use Suzu, you can eliminate her teammates. If there's a Life Weaver, make him your only priority target till he's down. He's easily dealt with. I'll be honest, this little dude doesn't stand a chance. Wait till he's wall riding before you get a hack, since gravity doesn't discriminate and he'll be predictable enough to cube. When you dunk on someone, use your Translocator at your feet or throw it in a direction, but walk back a little. Bake the Mercy to revive them and then eliminate. Let her try first. This way, her resurrection ability goes on its hefty long cooldown for bonus value. Plus, she'll be standing still. Despite Moira's ultimate being what it is, it's surprisingly easy to interrupt with hack. Just make sure she's focusing on someone else and get the job done. For Zenyatta, first, wait till Zenyatta charges up his volley. Then right before he shoots them off, run his pockets as he's launching them or with one orb to go. He'll be disoriented, miss his orbs, be locked into an animation, and he might even need to reload on top of that because of how much ammo a full volley needs. And now with that, that is all 42 currently playable heroes in Overwatch 2 that no longer stand a chance against you if you go Sombra. Hopefully everyone, regardless of rank or skill, at least learned one new thing. If you want to see any of these tips in action or just have someone you can put on in the background to get some free skins from Twitch drops, you can come join me over on twitch.tv/Questron or aimbot.com, but definitely not cl.aimbot.com. That would be ridiculous. I'll see you there. Bye bye now.